The breaking news.
Hello everyone and welcome back to All Transfer News. Today we've got the latest updates on our beloved club, Liverpool. But before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a moment of Liverpool transfer news. Let's get started.
Liverpool could face center-back crisis as squad depth under scrutiny. Castello Luquiba back on Rada ride. Liverpool may soon find themselves in the middle of a defensive dilemma if urgent reinforcements are not brought in over the coming months. The club's decision to cash in on homegrown defender Uriel Kwanzaa last summer, earning around £30 million from his move to Bayer Leverkusen, was initially viewed as a calculated step to balance the books while funding future defensive additions. The expectation was that the arrival of Giovanni Leoni, an exciting 18-year-old center-back from Parma signed for £26 million, would seamlessly fill the gap left behind by Kwanzaa's departure. However, those plans have quickly unraveled. The young Italian suffered a devastating ACL injury on his debut, ruling him out for the entire season and possibly beyond. His absence has left Liverpool short of reliable cover in central defense, particularly after their deadline day failure to secure Mark Guéhi from Crystal Palace, who dramatically pulled out of a £35 million deal at the last moment. Adding to the concern are the uncertain futures of Ibrahima Konate, whose contract runs until 2026, and Joe Gomez, who continues to face questions over his long-term role under Arne Slot without swift action from sporting director Richard Hughes. The Reds could find themselves dangerously thin at the back. Especially with the club competing across multiple fronts this season, Liverpool reignite interest in Castello Luque. But fortunately, there appears to be a glimmer of optimism on the horizon. According to a new report from the Daily Briefing, Liverpool have reignited their pursuit of RB Leipzig defender Castello Luquiba, a player they have admired for some time. The 22-year-old Frenchman, a standout performer in the Bundesliga, has developed into one of Europe's most complete young centre-backs. Although Liverpool initially cooled their interest earlier this year, the club's defensive struggles have prompted them to revisit the idea of bringing him to Anfield. This could prove to be another Richard Hughes match, as reports indicate that Luquiba's €90 million release clause may not be an obstacle after all. Leipzig are believed to be willing to negotiate a deal in the region of €60 million. £52 million, a figure significantly more attainable for the Reds. Luquiba can leave Leipzig for below his €90 million release clause, with the German side ready to accept more like €60 million, the report states. Liverpool first looked at Luquiba in the summer and remained keen. But competition for the 22-year-old's signature will be strong. Chelsea, Manchester United, Newcastle, and Real Madrid are also monitoring the situation, with Luquiba contracted until 2029. Any deal will require serious negotiation, but Liverpool's renewed pursuit signals intent. It's a move that could stabilize their backline for years to come, particularly as Virgil van Dijk enters the final phase of his career. Current center-back situation raises alarms at present. Liverpool's senior defensive roster is alarmingly limited, consisting of Van Dijk, Konate, and Gomez. This lack of depth has become even more concerning following reports that Konate has returned from international duty with France due to a thigh injury, another setback that highlights the fragility of Slot's options. The failure to bring in Mark Guéhi, coupled with Leoni's long-term absence, has left the club exposed. If one more injury strikes, Liverpool could be forced to rely on academy players or makeshift defensive solutions, something they hope to avoid this season. Given these challenges, it's no surprise that Liverpool have been heavily linked with several potential signings in recent weeks. Other defensive targets under consideration, in addition to Luquiba, Liverpool have been linked with several experienced and emerging defenders. Among the more senior options are Jan-Paul van Heck Brighton, Ronald Araujo Barcelona, and William Pajo Eintracht Frankfurt, each offering a different profile that could complement Van Dijk's leadership at the back. However, the club is also keeping an eye on younger prospects who could develop into long-term solutions. According to TBR Football, one of the latest names to emerge is Taras Makovko, a 20-year-old Ukrainian center-back is currently starring for Dynamo Kyiv. Makavko has established himself as a cornerstone of the Kyiv defense, helping his club to the Ukrainian Premier League title in 2024, 25th, and earning the Ukrainian Young Player of the Year award. His rise has drawn attention from across Europe, with Liverpool, Chelsea, Manchester United, Newcastle, Brentford, and Brighton all scouting him closely. Bundesliga clubs are B. Leipzig and Bayer Leverkusen are also believed to be in the mix, setting up what could be a fierce bidding war for his signature. Makavko, who joined Dynamo Kyiv from Lviv in 2023, is under contract until 2028, but could move sooner if a suitable offer arrives. His performances in European competitions, particularly against Crystal Palace, in the UEFA Europa Conference League, and his appearances for Ukraine's U21 side have further boosted his reputation. A long-term vision for Liverpool's defense. Liverpool's search for a new center-back isn't just about plugging short-term gaps, it's about building for the future. With Van Dijk now in his 30s, the club must identify a successor capable of leading the defense in the years to come. Both Lukiba and Makavko represent the kind of intelligent, technically gifted defenders suited to Slot's possession-based system. Lukiba offers immediate top-level experience, while Makavko could be developed gradually into a first-team regular. The Reds' recruitment strategy under Richard Hughes has been to blend proven talent with emerging youth, ensuring squad stability without overspending. If they can secure one or both of these targets, Liverpool's defensive future would look far brighter than it does at present. Final thoughts as things stand. Liverpool are walking a fine line defensively. The combination of injuries, unfulfilled transfers, and contractual uncertainties has created a precarious situation for Arne Slot. But with renewed movement in the transfer market and an eye on Europe's brightest young defenders, there's hope that Liverpool's long-term defensive vision remains intact. Securing Castello Lukiba would be a major statement of intent, proving that despite setbacks, Liverpool remain proactive and ambitious. If they can complement that move with the signing of a rising star like Taras Makavko, the Reds could turn what was once a looming crisis into one of the most promising defensive rebuilds in Europe. Liverpool plotting return for PSG. Champions League winner Liverpool are once again finding themselves in the middle of a defensive dilemma that could soon turn into a crisis if not handled carefully. The club's decision to sell academy graduate Jurel Kwanza to Bayer Leverkusen last summer for £30 million was meant to be balanced out by the arrival of Giovanni Leone, an exciting 18-year-old defender signed from Parma for £26 million. However, that plan has not gone as expected. The Italian teenager suffered a devastating ACL injury during his debut match and is as well expected to be sidelined for up to a year.